Welcome back to the news. If you saw our first episode, you understand the concept. We're going to look at the automotive content that's been uploaded to YouTube over the last couple of weeks and bring you up to speed right now. Okay, so just like last episode of the news, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. If you're new, maybe go back and look at the first one and understand the concept. Essentially, we will just be reviewing videos from around the world. All right, so we'll start with Australia as we did last time, and our favourite YouTube channel of all is fullBOOST, of course. No surprise there.
Biased?
Well, of course, no fake news here, only facts. Now we've
Anything
uploaded...
fake are those glasses you're wearing.
Excuse me, this is my prescription. Clark Kent, Superman. So F350 Project up now 2 episodes in the last couple of weeks. So that's part 3 of our build series. I think it's up episode 6 of the whole series, but the first few were around planning and that, but the last 3 have actually been wrenching on the thing. So got a few more of these in the pipeline too. So hopefully we'll get some regularity with those coming out. You also had Bench Talk, an episode of Bench Talk come out, and some other racing stuff too. So definitely more project stuff coming out. Hopefully we get the 626 onto the dyno shortly as well.
You've been talking about that for like 2 years.
Hopefully we get the 66 on the dyno shortly. I promise you don't have to remind me every 6 months. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. We've got another project that you can't see above us on the go at the moment already that you guys will see maybe in about another 3 months. A bit top secret at the moment, so we're not going to release any of that. But needs to say some big killer brands involved in that one, so cannot wait. Some other stuff, some milestones with some videos on fullBOOST. We had our pretty much the video that started all for me with you guys was the rotary rebuild video. So that ticked over to 2 million views. Now, back when I had the concept of doing this video, there wasn't any other videos really online like it. I've seen plenty of copycat ones since then, obviously because it's been so popular, other channels go, hey, we could do that too. However, what I've noticed with a lot of the other channels, it makes me laugh a bit too, is they call them rotary rebuild videos. However, every single piece of machining has been done beforehand. So if you're watching the video, you probably think it's a basic set. Oh, how easy is this to build a rotary engine? All they're doing is assembling it. So the rotors and everything else are completely assembled, and they're just basically going done, plate. Oh, we rebuilt a rotary engine. If you watch any one of those videos, you are going to learn absolutely butkus on how to build a rotary video. So probably why our one's been so popular, and thanks to everyone that's watched it. Another video, it's a mainstay.
When are we going to do a how to build a Renaissance engine video?
Well, the process is exactly the same. Just when the engine's built, it goes back into a sad old RX-8. So same concept.
So when it's built, you just throw it in the dump master. Yeah. Dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's right. Triggered. So another mainstay of the channel, that Barra video, that thumbnail probably pulls people in with that glowing exhaust manifold. 12 million views now.
That was recorded before YouTube existed.
Yeah, I think
around 2003.
The thumbnail looks awesome.
On an old
and
SD
then you
camera.
watch the video and it is complete potato cam. So it's almost clickbait. Because you look at that thumbnail and you're like, this is mint. And then you look at the video and like, what the hell is this?
Blowing.
Yeah, no, it looks good. And it's pretty impressive. And lots of people have been watching, lots of people still watching.
That was easily, at the time I filmed that was easily the most power.
Yeah.
That was like twice the power anyone else was sort of.
That video almost started the legacy, the Barra mythology amongst people, because no one... Was it Nispro?
Yeah.
They did Nispro, so
thanks to Nispro.
It was no one was really playing big power with them back then. The car had been out. And,
well, no, they were back when that video was. I'm pretty sure that car had like custom main caps and all sort of bits that other people weren't doing anything with. They were just putting some bolt-ons.
Yeah, they were one of the first with the plenum and all this kind of stuff. So Nispro were like cutting edge of that Barra stuff. So when that video came out, people were losing their mind over it because the power they made was incredible. So nowadays,
if you watch the video, it's not even actually really doing a power run. It's just sitting there loading the turbo.
Yeah.
And just getting everything on fire. Really.
Yeah. I mean, that setup back then would have cost tens of thousands of dollars. Nowadays, it's only $2K. So bargain, Barra, $2K, 8s. All right, so Rod Shop had part 3, I think, and 4 of their early model Holden, HK or something like that.
Serious butt hurt that they laid a spanner in that car. They should have left it how it was. I don't know, if you watch the first episode, they're showing how bad the car is standard.
Yeah.
No brakes, complete death trap.
Yeah. Leave it as, oh no, don't touch it.
The beauty about cars is it's not your car.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to your own car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, take an angle grinder to it, who cares, back half.
But they're up to, I think, episode 4.
Yeah, I think it's episode 4. So one of the things I liked about the last episode is they put Wilwood brakes on the front, and the people getting really butthurt about the originality of the car and that they haven't gone and put Simmons on it. Some of that special.
Yeah, bud.
So they haven't gone and put Simmons on it. They've got like a factory style period correct sort of 14-inch with the original hubcap, but they've still got a big Wilwood brake package on it.
You can't even see it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the car's coming on really well. Tip on that one is drinking game for that video. Every time the host says, "Rightio, all right," take a shot. I guarantee by the end of it, you'll be shit-faced. So this next video, I saw a lot of content on Instagram and actually drove me to a YouTube channel to watch it a bit more in depth, was Troy Candy. So a lot of people might know iCandy Motorsports and the cars they do, the giveaways. They do a lot of these giveaway things. I think they've got one running right now, which are pretty cool. But essentially what Troy did was he had a t-shirt made for the bushfire affected areas, and the profits from that were like $20,000. They took that money and instead of just donating it, it's been in the news a fair bit and he covered it too, where you donate money and a third of it goes to the actual people that need to be helped by it, if that.
If that, yeah.
He actually took that 20 grand cash and went to these communities in East Gippsland and gave the money to these retailers and put money on the bar for CFA guys and this and that. So it was a really good video, really well done, and the guys had a lot of fun in it, and had that wrapped Camaro, and that looked pretty wild too. So really well done on that one. Good to watch. If you are interested in following Troy and that, he's got an Instagram account. You can go to troycandy.com. Tip on that also, if you like to drink as a sport, check out his Instagram account and you'll pick up tips to become a gold medal.
Not only a snorkel, you can buy. I think Troy's now selling a double snorkel.
A double snorkel.
So you can smash 2 of those vodka cruisers at once.
Yeah, all I want to see is that people are tagging Troy, obviously, when they're filming these snorkel videos. I just want to see hashtag drink responsibly too, because it'd be just a hilarious sort of take on that. But good work, Troy. Killer stuff, and I hope to see more later. Moving on, still in Australia, we have Australia Supercars Talk. So you might have seen early last year, we recorded a couple episodes with Dave. We completely ran out of time and we just could not film these anymore. So unfortunately we couldn't make it work with our schedules, project cars and whatnot. So Dave has actually picked up this series and has been running with it by himself on his own channel. So if you are a Supercars or whatever, V8 Supercars, whatever they call the series now, if you're a fan of that, go and check him out. He is doing like we did last year, the full livery reveal. So you'll find out what teams what drivers what, and what all the cars look like. So head over to his channel, Supercars Talk, for the latest on all of that. And now moving over to WA, Brendan and hashtag Because Race Car has been covering most of WA Radial racing, so OLR Radial series. They recently had one of the comp meets, and unfortunately got rained out over the weekend. I think they got rained out after qualifying too, but Brendan's got a fair bit of footage he'll be uploading then, so that's great. Like seeing racing from all around Australia. No one's really covering the stuff from WA.
Yeah, Brendan does a good job. He generally, each meet, he'll follow one car around for the night.
Yeah, you get some good detail and get to really understand what it's like to be part of that race team for the night. So cool stuff there, all right. So a lot of you people said it in the comments below, Auto Expert. That's another channel we've seen a bit of. Pretty well-known Australian channel. Pretty polarising too, because sort of like myself in that raw honesty. People really don't like being told home truth sometimes.
And I look at John Cadogan, and I think he's probably the closest person in what you'd call the new car sector to be getting demonetised on YouTube.
Pretty much. There's
because he just says it how it is.
Oh, it is. Yeah, he's been definitely black banned by every auto manufacturer, I think, in the country, bar maybe Kia and Hyundai, which he pushes pretty heavily now. So you have to watch it with a grain of salt to understand. He's probably got a bit of an agenda pushing the people that still like him and really pushing a different agenda on the people that don't. But
I don't mind John's content. The only thing I find, I think sometimes he effectively has a 5-minute video and he pushes it out to 15.
Yeah,
just condense it.
Definitely a bit of colour commentary there on some of the stuff. But if you're in the market for a new car, he does actually give you some really good tips on how to bargain with quite honestly, and all due respect to people that sell cars out there, the scumbags selling new cars in your dealerships, because let's be honest, all these people want to do is take your money from you, very much akin to the real estate agency, new car salesman often. They don't really care about you. They'll just pretend they care about you to try and get the best deal. Know this personally. Just bought a new car for the wife recently, and I had a car salesman literally tell me, sounds like with your budget, mate, maybe you should go and buy an X rental car because you're not getting anything with that money. And then another dealership,
Really?
Yep, another dealer actually gave me about $2,000 less for a brand new, not even an X-demo car, of exactly the same model. So it just goes to show.
Same car, just different dealer.
Same car, same model, same make, everything, same spec, different dealer, same car to trade in, end up getting a $3,000 better deal for a brand new car off the showroom floor, where all I was originally shopping for was a demo. So some of John's tips I put into practice, and
I do like how John talks about, obviously a lot of new cars have issues that get swept under the rug by a lot of automotive media.
Yeah,
it's like it's not an issue, but he actually talks about them in detail.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you've been black banned by everyone in the auto industry, but I guess you don't really have to pull any punches, do you? So, okay, so one away from YouTube, which is fine. We'll go to Facebook, and it's the guys with Operational Radial Freedom. So I love watching this. They do a live stream show pretty much every week, every Thursday night, I think.
What's the freedom part mean?
I don't know. They're free.
Free.
Freedom! Freedom from having to run slicks. I don't know. But the passion these guys have for racing is what is so important in our industry, because if it's not for people like these guys, everyone else will just sit back and just wait for meets to come up, and if they don't, then complain, oh, this meet wasn't here. These guys are absolutely pumping the radial scene, but racing in general. So
they have a lot of, well-known, I guess, races on interviews and
it's really good. I mean, the only drawback is they have vertical video syndrome, unfortunately, so they're recording it they're live streaming on a forward-facing camera, so it's the vision's already sort of grainy enough, but they're recording it vertical, so sometimes I live stream it to my TV and it's on a widescreen TV instead of it being this wide, it's that wide. So don't know if maybe in the future they could just turn that phone on its side, guys. Would really help some of the people watching it on other platforms, but I cannot get enough of watching it because they absolutely love it.
I think from memory, is it Thursday nights? Yeah,
Thursday nights. Yeah, they recorded one. I think it was the Kenda, the 8th Mile Series, up at Queensland. They were sitting in one of the boxes, one of the private boxes behind it, and they'd stop every now and then for a car would run a PB, and they'd lose their mind. You can tell. The biggest thing, they're genuine. They love it. They live for this stuff. They live, eat, breathe radials.
You know what they like everyone to go fast.
Yeah. They're not biased to a workshop or a make or a model or a type and that. All they want is people out there racing with radials and going fast, and everything else in between is just noise. It doesn't matter. They live and die for the racing. So good luck to those guys, and they've also just started a Barra project car too. So that thing's coming together pretty quickly. Some big brands getting behind them on that. So excited to see how fast they go with that thing. Good work, guys.
I wouldn't say it's really an Australian car channel. It's a workshop with a YouTube channel. Max Performance. They're now building an EA Falcon with a Barra. So they're going after the 8s for 2K challenge, I'd assume.
I think the hot side of their Barra is already blowing that budget, but
but that's going to be a quick car. It's got everything on it. It's got all the little bits you need to put on a Barra to make them reliable.
I like E series more than I like BAs and BFs.
Yeah, well, I think it's because we grew up with that. With that generation.
I used to have one. First car was EA, but they'd be a fair bit lighter too. What is it? It's either EA to ED, something like that. Those cars they're huge in their own right, but they'd be lighter than the BA by a couple 100 kilos, you'd reckon?
You'd think so, and they don't have IRS, so...
Yeah, that looks pretty clean. It looks nice, that car.
Yeah, but it's coming along well. I think they've done 3 or 4 episodes now, so if you haven't seen it, look them up.
Close at home, we had HB Academy have their sort of like a live stream almost sort of format where they just review some news and some stuff from the industry. They had what could only be described as the most polite backhander to a business I've ever seen in my life. So they bought some axles through a business called Driveshaft Shop, and they've had
they're in the States.
They're in the States, and they've had huge amounts of issues getting onto this company of, I think it's for their FT86, with the axles being too short on that, and there was some renowned issues around the world with these things. And if I'd spent $6,000+ or whatever it was on a set of custom billet axles, well, not even custom, they're off the shelf. They're meant to be specifically fit for this vehicle.
Well, that's why you buy that particular brand, because they're supposed to bolt in.
And they've had problems with them blowing it out in the unis and stuff like that. If I'd spent that kind of money on a set of on axles that were meant to be rated to 2,000 horsepower and the thing's making a quarter of that, I would be ropeable. But he was so polite about it. So hats off to you, Andre. You've definitely got a cooler come ahead than I have. All right, that's it for Australia for now. Moving overseas, TRC Racing channel had a heap of good videos. So 2,500 horsepower this, 900 horsepower that, as with everything in America.
Right.
And unfortunately, maybe their views weren't quite up to spec over the last month. Someone in that boardroom meetings burst on a Monday. We need more views. Go for the clickbait, and they've gone to their tried and true cute girl sitting in the car thumbnail.
Reaction.
I think 1320 video and TRC. This is their go-to. If you actually have a look at some, I think TRC especially, their highest rated videos are all of these ones where it's like girl reaches for $100 note or girl reaction on the fast car or whatever. It's like, cool mate, no worries. It is. We said we weren't going to mention clickbait for video channels that do clickbait.
So you've already mentioned clickbait one
this
episode.
Is pure clickbait. Their other videos leading up to this are great, but you can just see where they just go, let's drive. Well, yeah, we want to get some big views here for the next month or whatever. Let's do this video.
Now, don't get me wrong. We know why they do it. Exactly.
We know exactly why they do it.
I don't know.
But yeah, when your core content
That's not
when your core content is this, and then you do something like that, it's clear as day why you're doing it. You're not doing it because that's what you want to do. You're doing it because you just want people to come and watch it, which is fair enough. He's running a business doing that. All power to him.
They do have some pretty awesome cars on that channel, though.
Oh, wicked. And that's why. It's why it's so unusual to see it, and because it's not the norm what they do. They do awesome videos.
I watched probably, out of the US-based channels, that's probably would be in my top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because I watched that, I'd watch 70 to 80% of their videos.
Yeah. No, they're good.
I haven't actually seen that one you're talking about.
No, I don't. Well, I don't bother watching it, so just click next. Hooligans, I'm trying to keep tabs on. I think they split the channels into a project car one at some point in time.
About 16 or 17 Hoonigan-based channels now.
Yeah, I'm a bit at a loss to work out which one's which. I think that the videos that I was watching was Hurt has his FC, he was getting his FC up and running. I don't know if it's because they were running that drift week or whatever, he was taking on that or something, but I don't really watch much of the Hoonigan stuff, I've got to be honest. I know that a lot of people do, and they've got big following, and they sell 1,000,001 t-shirts off the back of that, but the camera work is too fast-paced, and I get motion sickness watching it just about. So I know...
I don't mind watching, there's one called Hoonigan Autofocus, and I can't remember the photographer. Is it Larry Chen? One of the well-known US photographers. It's basically like behind the scenes of him doing photo shoots on cars. I don't know where they get the time to make it, because he's doing a photo shoot. But they'll talk to the owner a bit about the car. It's much less fairy floss. Yeah. And the episodes aren't as long.
Yeah, a lot of the shows like that, like Hoonigan, almost are... Yeah, there's not as much. I watch a lot of automotive shows to watch people build cars, but there's a lot of people that aren't car people that might not want to watch that kind of stuff. So
one US channel I love watching is it Ammo NYC?
Is he a car wash guy?
Yeah, they do car detailing, and he doesn't do heaps of videos. Like he might do maybe one video a month on, I don't know, but they're all very well thought out and executed. And he just films it himself, and then for most of it, he just commentates it after the fact.
He does it a bit like Chris Fix type of deal.
Yeah, Chris Fix or Papadaka style. They just commentate, but he'll go and do a barnyard. He'll do everything from, I think he had one detailing a Formula 1 car to then pulling one out of the forest that's been sitting there for 30 years. But they're really well made, and I'm not particularly into car detailing, but they're just really interesting.
They're very easy to watch. That one YouTube channel I've never heard of, have a lot of views. I'm raising it because it seems to be a common theme. We'll mention another channel a bit later on that also is following a common theme with videos that seem to be up on YouTube lately. Is this channel's called Off the Ranch. Now they've taken a supercar, or a wrecked supercar, and they're restoring it. There is I didn't realise there were this many Lamborghinis in the world that were wrecked.
They were wrecked, yeah.
But it seems that if you've got a bit of money behind you and you're looking to start your YouTube career, bang, just go buy a wrecked Lambo, because that is what most of them are doing these days. It's totally uninteresting to me, but I assume that the people watching these are the people who are car people, but not going to car meets or racing events. They're the people that buy wheels. So if you buy wheels or motor or that those kind of magazines, Australian magazines, where it's like some supercars or the latest specs on XYZ, latest release Polo Golf or whatever, it's probably the people watching these, I'd say, because they're not overly interesting, to be honest. And if you are watching this now and you're someone who watches these wrecked supercar videos,
tell us why you watch them.
Why?
What's the appeal of them? What colour Lamborghini we should buy?
100%.
Broom, you're going to get this
colour.
This thing off the hoist, and we'll get a matching Lambo.
This nugget. Yeah, total junk. Yeah, but if you watch these wrecked supercar videos, let us know which ones you've watched, and let us know if you like them or you don't like them. So Sloppy Mechanics have had a few videos. They haven't had as many videos lately. He's probably been busy building his
You're one of
truck.
the biggest Aussie fans.
Do like his stuff. Yeah, I like his stuff because it's he's also someone where there's no bullshit.
Very transparent.
No bullshit. So we do have some high quality parts that we use in our stuff, but we do use some Chinese stuff as well from Chinese manufacturers. We cop a lot of grief over it for that reason. However, his stuff is all China.
Whatever gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean he's got some Holy give him ECU, but everything else is just whatever gets the job done. He uses it, and he uses it to great effect. So recently, he ran 8s for 8K, with 8K US dollars, but he had old Mustang, whatever that not the Fox body.
Four XR6s.
4 XR6s, yeah. So and that was, I love that series. Yeah, so
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And the best part about it, see, in Australia we have like tall poppy syndrome, and if you have a problem with something as well. You can't say that you blew up the engine because it's just a mass embarrassment, and you got to come up with every excuse in the book. I've never seen so many cars at racetracks have flat tires or broken gearboxes when they've clearly like blown up an engine, because it's so taboo in Australia in drag racing, especially the sport compact scene, to have an engine failure when you're pushing the limits of the car. It's just like you can't tell anyone about it. But he destroyed a couple of engines, and it was like, yep, that's what happened, and here's how bad it was, and let's put it back together. So, love that, love the honesty, and we'll keep on watching. So if you're looking to build like an LS on a budget, definitely tune into this.
Everyone in America just tried and true, go and get that 5.3.
Yep.
5.3 junkyard engine.
4.8, 5.3, 100%. Rob Dahm put up about, I think his 937th installment of the Billet 4-rotor RX-7 world's first. The first of everything, whatever, yeah. So I've tuned out a little while ago for this one. I'll wait for this thing to hit the racetrack, which it doesn't look like it's too far away. I think he was going to the dyno on that, but it's been strung out a little too long for me now that I've lost interest. However, I know a lot of people are commenting on...
That car is awesome.
It's the best RX-7 in the world, basically. It's incredible, and I love it, but I need to see it running and racing now. I'm done with the building part of it. He did the rush to get the SEMA. Yeah, it's cool. This thing in person, we saw it a couple of years ago. Even back then, it looked killer. It's undergone a full rebuild almost since then. It's wicked.
Oh, it's great.
It is an unbelievable car. Full credit to him. But the regular content, it's not. It doesn't progress far enough to the point where I want to watch it.
Not much happens in a lot of the episodes.
Yeah. So. Can't wait to see it racing, because his 3-rotor FD went really, really fast. So this thing should absolutely smash and brain everything out there. But
saying that, it's not. You're doing something quite out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out of the box.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that watch our rotary content often tag Rob in stuff. Rotary breeds rotary love. So. There's obviously a lot of people watching your show, and the views show that. So, consider looking at that if you're into RX-7s and rotary stuff.
And billet.
And world firsts. So, in more further proof that anything that Cletus McFarland channel touches turns to gold, he's tuner maybe, or former... housemate, so to speak, in terms of his workshop. Jeremy in the channel Faster Proms He's basically piggybacked off everything sort of Cletus has done. He's done very similar cars along the way. He's just finished building a 1,000 horsepower pickup truck, I think they're called.
I have to admit, that's one channel I haven't really ever watched.
Yeah, I don't really watch this either. I'm more so, this is the news. It doesn't mean you have to watch it or love or watch every little bit of it. But a lot of people in the comments mentioned this. So
does he do a bit of everything, or is it all
it's
domestic?
It's all domestic stuff. Yeah, so it's in the vein of Cletus. He's got some crappier old car and he's done it up a bit and put
V8
same thing.
Based.
Yeah, so I think he's building maybe a burnout car or whatever, but. As well to go with them, and then he's built some other car, and then he tunes daily drivers and this kind of stuff. So if you like, car build-up videos, and especially if you like LS-based sort of stuff or GM V8 late model stuff, that's definitely one for you. Right, so one of the coolest engine rebuilding channels out there is Haggerty. They've recently just got a straight 8, so it's not a V8, which is 4-in-line. It's a straight 8. Buick, I think it is Buick, that they started their teardown on that. So these videos are really cool. They'll do like 5 or 6 videos where they do the teardown and explain what they're doing and rebuilding it. Then after all that's finished, they will do what they were really known for. Yeah, they're doing the time lapses, the stop motion sort of stuff, and those videos are
they're crazy.
They're incredible. You see behind the scenes of how long they take to make. And just wicked. The amount of work that goes in to do those, but they look awesome. The results are there.
I've done a little bit of stop motion stuff, and it is so time consuming.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah. Right. So Adam LZ.
Hang on. We're in Australia. It should be Adam LZ.
Adam LZ.
LZ.
Apologies. At the.
Just like in basketball, you're going to get back on defense. No, I'm going to get back on defense. So Adam LZ, I'm not sure. He probably released another car. It's really hard. He put a straight pipe exhaust system on his Porsche. You want to hear some ear candy? That is insane.
Okay, sure.
Go watch that one.
I don't really watch any of this stuff, honestly. People in the comments from the last episode said we're mentioning his channel, so plenty of people are watching this stuff, but. He's almost got too many project cars.
Too many, yeah. I don't watch enough, but I'm just waiting for him to twirl that mustache.
So, I thought it was Movember, but it's still there. I don't watch enough, so I just thought it was like an ironic mustache, but it appears that it's an actual one.
I think it's time to get a bit of the old feminine, the old Gillette razor,
Maybe, was it at Nads, whatever, the hair removal stuff? But it looks like a strong breeze could probably blow it off anyway, but... only reason why I watched a couple of recently is I'm interested in the new Supra, obviously, like a lot of people are, and drag racing. So he's taken that to the drag strip in the guys to be one of the fastest in the world. And I think he is. I think he's like the second or third fastest. What are they? A90? Something 90?
A90
A90. So I think he's the second or third fastest A90 Supra in the world.
Yeah, well, the last time I saw him running, I think it was around a 10 flat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it went 10 flat. And
don't quote me. I think one ran 989.
Yeah, it wasn't far away. And I think he's put like nitrous on it and stuff like that. And he's got a tune and he's done suspension stuff. So that's cool. That's something I'm interested in. Other people might be interested in other stuff.
BMW, man.
It's just a racing BMW with a Toyota badge. But he does a lot of heavy drifting content. So you might see the theme of a lot of this stuff in the news in that. Guys who are drifters might not feature as heavily on this because, of course, this is us reading the news. Just like most other fake news companies out there promoting whatever agenda they've got. Well, we're gonna review whatever we're probably watching or interested in. So you could call this the CNN of news, which we're just going to push our own agenda.
CNN. In other American news, did you see Chris Fix, aka? Hey guys! Did you see he hit just a lazy 6 million subs?
Yeah. What was interesting, did you see, was it around Christmas, just after Christmas, he put up a teaser shot, I think, of, so a bit of background. Every year he does sort of like a Christmas video of some gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the video before that was a bit of an ad as well. And by the time the
stuff you could give Christmas presents.
This Christmas video came up and people were in the comments like going, won't you get back to repairing cars? This isn't what I signed up for free. Like they were just losing it over him shilling for businesses that had said promote this or whatever. And then I think...
but hang on, we can't talk. We're complete shills.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, if you want your business logo here, no worries.
Bring it on.
I'm for sale. But yeah, and he'd put up a picture teasing of that he'd bought his dad a new car, like a nice car, like a Maserati or something. And people essentially...
Oh, that's right. You told me about this.
Yeah,
I didn't...
lost their mind over it, going
video.
like, why do you need to buy a Maserati? Oh, nice to have money. Oh, this and that. Oh, we don't want to see this. We just want to see you fixing old shit boxes. And like, it was just, and he literally just said, well, fine then, I won't put the video up. No one will watch it then. How about that? And then other people say, don't give him to the trolls. Ignore them. And people will say this, ignore the trolls. But when they're filling up in your comments, and some of these total uneducated morons get really personal about it too, you can't just ignore all of them. And neither should you. These people think they can be nameless and fatalist and just say whatever they want. No. You're going to cop it. If you're going to be a moron in the comments, you deserve to cop a bit of a backhand every now and then. So he did release the video, and it was great. I mean, shit, if I had the money to buy that, you'd buy the old man Maserati hands down.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, so I just watched it a bit. But yeah, these people, it's mighty car mods have fallen into this too, that, 10 years ago they started and they were spray painting cars in their driveway, and now they're building...
Like what we're doing.
And now we're still doing it 10 years later. But, and then people who watched that video 10 years ago, that they believe they're being lied to in some way, that they own these channels, and that they're saying, you should still be making the content you made a decade ago. How dare you go and do something else? Oh, it's a total travesty of justice. A, it's free. B, go and make your own content. Like, if you don't like it, first of all, stop watching.
The work stuff I do now is nothing like what I did 10 years ago.
I mean,
why would you want to keep doing the same thing?
The biggest thing about the haters, and geez, if we've got a fair few of them in the comments, they hate everything you do and they hate you. However, they are the first people to watch your content when it comes out. So to all the haters out there, thanks. Cha-ching.
Is this the news or bench talk?
Bit of both. So one of the other ones we've had, almost in the light of that really highly produced Discovery Channel type of stuff, is Powernation. They started uploading a heap of content probably about 6 months or a year ago. I honestly thought this stuff was from 1989, and they were just burning DVDs and uploading to YouTube. I watched a video the other day, and they were at the 2019 Mac Tools Festival. This stuff seems really... It doesn't translate that well to
That wasn't the video where the guy had the shit...
Yeah, so... old mate who's in one of these, he's obviously like a full square. And this is where it's very Discovery and very scripted. So everyone's got their own persona. They've probably got the token Mexican dude, and they've got the token this guy and that guy, whatever. This guy's the token egghead of the guy, of the crew, and he normally walks around the workshop with a pocket protector and like a set of vernier calipers and 2 pens and a pencil and this kind of stuff. He was at a conference, nowhere near a workshop, still had his pocket protector in. He's he's basically a caricature of himself. Yeah. And this is where like these kind of shows are just, you can't, they're just, who watches this? This is the stuff that is Gas Monkey Garage, Discovery Channel, total scripted,
it's so obvious
weird stuff.
When you see stuff on YouTube, when you realise that wasn't made for YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's such a different feel.
Yeah, it is. It's bizarre watching it and when you're so used to watching non-professionally produced content where there isn't a director and a multiple cameramen and an audio person and someone writing a script for what they're going to say, versus just a YouTuber out there with a camera and filming it themselves and going, oh yeah, this is what I've done, I'll edit it into some kind of video later. This is produced and scripted to an inch of its life. But some of the stuff's interesting to watch. There's a few caricatures of real life people in there. But yeah, old mate with his pocket protector, I almost lost it when I saw that. That was hilarious. I don't know what he was going to mark down or write or draw up when he was at that conference. But anyway, good luck to him.
What was the one with the guy with a shirt that was like 4XL?
That was the same one.
And it was folded.
That was the same. That was Powernation also. He was on the dyno. He'd turned up and he just turned up in his normal clothes, and they're like,
hey,
excuse me, the script here says that you must be young Billy from out in Texas somewhere, and you're going to be a knowledgeable person on LS engines, so you've got to look like this. And they've gone, well, I don't have that kind of workshop t-shirt. Well, here you go. Here's one straight out of the box. Kapow! and it had the
iron.
It had the
fold
iron.
marks.
It had the fold mark still on the shirt, and the sleeves were like.
It was about
here.
6 sizes too big on him.
It was hilarious. It was like the wardrobe department just forgot that this guy was having to. Maybe they had someone else earmarked in for that. The script, who was a larger individual, and this guy was the best they could get a fit for. So one of our favourites, Fueltech. These guys are probably the kings of killer big horsepower dyno videos. I've had just about every pro mod on there. As we know, the fastest pro mods and some of the fastest drag cars in the world run Fueltech. So doesn't matter what ECU you like, if you love dyno videos, check out their channel because it's killer seeing these.
It's got to the point
cars.
now though where I saw a car I think made 2100 horsepower and I'm like, is that all?
2100?
Because cars are making like 5,000.
Well, we'll put Project Redline on the dyno eventually and it'll probably make 400 kilowatts and people will just be like, really? Which is fair enough. It's not powerful. What can we say? All right, so another one a couple of people mentioned in the comments is Tovarisch. Never watched much of his stuff. It started appearing in my news feed as a recommended thing over Christmas. He had a viral video of a Pimp My Ride, like a ex-Pimp My Ride car that he bought and he sort of did some work to. I've gone back through a lot of his content and he has an unbelievable volume of project cars, sort of like Adam LZ does. However, I can't see where he actually finishes any of them. So, I mean, normally evolution of a project car is buy car, work on car, finish car, and then do whatever you're doing with that car. He seems to have so many project cars, and they'll have 1 or 2 or 3 episodes, and they get ripped apart.
And then they just disappear, and a new car comes along.
Yeah, gone. Yeah. And then there's another one. So, bizarre. I mean,
there's a lot of US channels like that.
Yeah, and that's where it was interesting. The only video I sort of watched of Adam LZ was a video he did before around that Christmas period when I had a bit of time to watch some of this content and that. And he did a video on why he does what he does or some stuff and he mentioned that the pressure to come out with the next car and the next project car and the next thing is so great that's why he has so many cars. So you can see that this is the tried and true method for a lot of channels out there to just keep on dumping cars out there that, you end up with a swathe of cars and new content to draw people in because, maybe someone doesn't like that car and stops watching. So the more and more cars you can do, the more broad, wider you can have your audience. But I don't think this guy finishes any of his cars. And I don't know if it's because, quite honestly, maybe he doesn't really know what he's doing. I don't think he's really that technically minded. Might be like you were Fueled Open and I'd start working on a project car and you had to work on it too. Might be a bit of Hollywood action on there to get the project car done.
I just open the bonnet, drop it.
Done.
Deal done. So he had a line of t-shirts or merch that had like the tagline Wrench Every Day, and he had a secondary channel called Wrench Every Day that mainly had podcasts on it. He stopped the podcast and they had nothing on it for like 7 or 8 months.
I didn't mind those short. They were quite short, most of them.
Yeah,
I didn't mind those podcasts.
And so now he's actually turned that into another project car channel where he's got a guy in that seems to be able to hold a tool and do some work. And I think he's using that as the channel to do a lot of his project car stuff mainly. And who knows what he's going to do with the other channel, or it's going to be. He's hinted at he might have a lot of YouTube collaborations on maybe on that main channel, and the Wrench Every Day one will be the ones where they're getting down and dirty on the project cars, because they are two pretty different audiences. So that's another thing at YouTube. So Car Throttle in the UK at the moment, I think every single video for the last 2 months has been, we bought a car for XYZ pounds. But I don't see the point. Like, they buy these cars that are just for £200 and then there's nothing.
I'll tell you one thing I've noticed in the UK.
It's weird.
You can seem to buy a half-decent car for a couple of £100, as they say.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, a car... I'm
£200.
looking at a car here that might be $5,000 and they're buying it for like less than $1,000.
Yeah.
Our money.
And obviously you have different rules and regulations. They seem that, like, MOT must be the registration or whatever, and if it's got 2 months MOT, they just drive it. If it's got rego, it's got rego, and just go and drive it away.
But a lot of, you're right, they buy these cheap cars, but what do they actually do with them?
Yeah, it was. I watched a couple of them, and they seem to buy them, and it seemed to be the episode. Like, most of the episode of them is going through. I think they must be sponsored by this, like a car sales type of website. Is the way I'm reading it by looking at it, because they all constantly bringing up screens from this autotrader.com or whatever it is. and they're looking at cars. Oh, look at this car, look at this car. Oh, maybe give that geezer a call, maybe whatever. So a 20-minute episode, 12 minutes of it is actually them just looking at the bloody internet. Then they spend another 5 minutes going out looking at the car, and then they're like, oh, let's give it a bit of a drive. Oh yeah, this thing smells. Oh, that's a bit rattly. And it's end of video, and it's, what was the point of that? I just lost 20 minutes of my life. But anyway, if you like watching those, more power to you, cool. There's a lot of that out there. So the two biggest themes, it seems, over YouTube at the moment is we are fixing up a wrecked supercar, or we bought a car for $200, £200 or whatever, and look how terrible it is, and now let's do that up or whatever. So there's definitely some really common themes. So we're going to have to launch our $200 car project next week, obviously, to stay relevant. Okay, so speaking of Car Throttle in UK, Project Binky must have had, well, their ears must have been burning, because they actually dropped an episode after last week's little outburst that they said they hadn't were getting a bit greedy for content, so they'd actually dropped one. So that was really cool. Another channel, if you like me and bridging into automotive stuff, was the Fast and Furious franchise, back when they were actually about the cars and not about The Rock and that other dude with the shaved head. One of the guys who actually owned a couple of the cars and then was I think he was a tech consultant on the first movie. I think it's Craig Lieberman. So he actually reviews all the cars from the first few series and runs through them.
Lieberman is a name you'd hear in Hollywood, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood name. So, not Weinstein. He's been cancelled these days. You won't hear that name anymore. We might it'll be demonetised now, this video. So he actually goes through all the videos. So he's got a video on Dom's Charger, Dom's RX-7, the Maxima even, the Skyline, the Jetta, all these videos. So if you're really interested in Fast and Furious, it's pretty cool to have a bit of a peek behind the curtain on all the cars. So I think he said in the Charger video that they'd had 5 or 6 of these cars, and some were very similar, some were like 3 or 4 built the same. One was just for the shot of like the blow-up.
I think they all had a small block Chev in them.
Yeah. So they borrowed the engine from some big engine builder and put it in just for that shot in the garage. That you never saw that car running or that with that engine. But yeah, pretty cool to look at. So yeah, that one's one to check out for all the Fast and Furious fans.
The Fast and Furious 9 trailer just came out. So like, I'm thinking, what's this going to be about? Bank heist, stop some mercenaries of kidnapped. There's always some backstory. If you notice Fast and the Furious, there's always a backside story that bears no relation to the main storyline. You get to the end and you're like, that was just pure content filler. It actually went nowhere.
Old mate's brother is the protagonist now. And it's like, where did he come from? Just write that one in the script. Backstory irrelevant. Could have mentioned in the first one that it was an only child or something. I'd be like, doesn't matter. No one remembers that first video. Just put it out. Pretty
much like Fast and the Furious 1, they were just doing some oil changes at home, and then the Fast and Furious 9, they're stopping World War III.
They're pretty much James Bond. Yeah. They're literally James Bond with cars. Oh, but James Bond doesn't.
Don't get me wrong. I watched recently on a plane. I went to watch Fast and Furious 7, and I realised I hadn't seen, I think, 5 and 6. So then all the stuff, I'll just watch 7, and then I watched 8. I think 7 was better, but they're so far-fetched, but I actually don't mind them.
What's the one where...
Because they're so far-fetched.
They really jumped the shark. Was it number 4 or 5, or where the guy, he's holding on the bonnet on the bridge, and a car hits him. He's like holding the bonnet like an Escort or something like that, and he gets rammed by the tank from behind, and he gets launched off, and then just launched off onto another car. It's like, wow. That pretty much... That was. Well, I think that was the crossover one where it went from being. Was that the one where they had? What was that real life scenario where they had the CIA running the cartel drugs under the tunnel or whatever? So, I think that was the crossover sort of one.
Was it the last one, Fast and Furious 8? I can't remember. I get mixed up. The one where they drove the supercar through the building.
I got no idea. Is that the Lycan? The Lycan? Yeah. I don't know. I think of. There are almost videos now where you think you've seen them, but
I'm actually at the point where Mission Impossible I'm hoping I'll see stunts like that because you just expect it.
Yeah, just something over the top. Yeah.
The last one where I think the intro, he's racing this old clunker in Cuba or whatever, and he's doing about 200 k's an hour, and the car's literally on fire, and then he dives out of the car. I'm not joking. He's wearing like just just a light shirt and some linen pants, and he just does one dumbbell roll and gets up. There's not one mark on him.
Well, it's
and he's doing at least 100 miles an hour.
Well, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing, mate. You know, if you did that, you'd probably get grazes all over you, but not him. He knows what he's doing. Trained professional. All right, I think that's about enough for today.
Enough. We've been recording for about 4 hours.
No one's watching by now anyway, so it doesn't matter what I say, as if anyone's still watching at this point. So if you are, thanks for watching. Good on you for getting through it. Like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. Good on you, and we'll see you next time for the news.
And tell us what auto channels we should be watching.
Yeah, comments below because it helps us help you.
New in the fullBOOST shop, we've got fullBOOST long sleeve tees. These are navy, same as our new Barra tees, but long sleeve t-shirt. Girls tees in navy, small, medium, large. And due to popular demand, we've had kids tees. Heaps of people have asked us about kids tees. These are in, I think, a couple of different sizes. I'm not sure. No, size 6 at the moment. All right. Anyway, get on them at shop.fullboost.com.au.